Hey everybody, welcome to Recovery Lab TV. My name is Chris, I'm your coach and sports therapist, and welcome to another video. This video is made for the people new to racing Ironman 70.3 and wondering what to do in race morning leading up to the race and going through kind of transition, if you will. So the first thing I do when I wake up is start getting dressed. I chuck on my rising tri-suit. I'll make sure that I'll apply some chamois cream onto all the areas that need chamoising. Another thing that I'll make sure I do is my armpits and my neck area, I kind of really apply this in bulk. What I found is from when you wake up, for me it's roughly 4 o'clock to race kickoff time, if you will, which is generally 6:30, 7. That's a fair amount of time, so I apply a lot on just because it soaks up into the skin and I don't necessarily want to keep applying it or carrying these things around with me in transition. So I'll apply a lot in the morning. Another thing that I'll do is I will put a powder of 160 drink mix hydrogel by Morton into my drinks bottle, and then what I'll start doing is I'll start sipping that slowly from when I wake up right to when I leave transition and walk down to either the beach or the lake where the swim is. What this does is it gradually kind of fills your body up, ready for the big day ahead. Allows me to feel confident within myself that I'm getting my hydration in through sleeping and potential that dehydration whilst I've slept. But it also allows me to kind of know that I've got a good energy source and I'm kind of topping that energy source up. Now, the breakfast I tend to have is very bland, very plain. I eat a lot of toast in the morning. I have a cup of tea. I tend to swap that cup of tea for my sports drink, and I eat my toast as normal. I'll eat my normal portions. I won't overeat, I won't undereat. It'll literally be same day, just as normal, getting me ready for race day. Another thing that I tend to do is I tend to have a packet of kind of breakfast biscuits that I will nibble as I leave the kind of accommodation that I'm staying at and kind of on my way to transition, still sipping my sports drink. One thing to ensure the night before that your heart rate strap, if you're into wearing a heart rate strap, is fully tested, has a brand new battery in if needed, and is fully secured underneath your tri-suit or tri-vest when you wear it. And then making sure that your goggles are up to scratch and there's no scratches on, they're not going to cause any problems. I don't tend to use any sort of sprays in my goggles for like kind of anti-fog, anti-mist. I know one of my old clients that had an allergic reaction to that type of stuff, so I tend to stay well away from it. I know there's plenty out there that don't have any sort of allergic reactions, but one thing I would recommend is if you lick the inside of your goggles and then wash them, they tend to do the same job as well. So and it's a lot friendlier on the eyes. You're never going to kind of get any sort of kind of bacterial infection from your own body because it's dealing with itself. Typically you'll have a race swim cap, an Ironman swim cap in your registration bag, the cool little bag that you get given at registration that most of us walk around proud to be wearing. And then typically I will wear my wetsuit up to halfway. What I don't tend to do is put it all the way up. One reason is because you tend to get really hot and bothered, really kind of hot and sweaty. But before I do, what I tend to do is my calves, my shin area and my calves, that lower limb, I'll put baby oil on. Now the reason why I put baby oil on is because it just assists a little bit better in getting our wetsuit off. I also put it on my forearms. However, I take a tiny bottle with me to transition, to dump into one of my bags, ready for that forearm application, so I can kind of walk around and not get it on my dry robe. Now, what I tend to do is I'll wear a pair of sliders, just like these, throughout race morning. And what I tend to do is that white streetwear bag that you get ready for after the race, is when I get to transition and I've done all my jobs, I've pumped up my tires. Now it's really important to double check that. In my most recent race, second most recent, last year in IRONMAN Swansea, what happened was my back tire, the valve on it had actually gone. Now I don't normally check it 100%, but for whatever reason I checked the front tire and it was like all fine. I kind of walked away and was like, yeah, it's fine, it'll be all right. But then something within me kind of went back and said, right, check the back tire as well. I went back, I checked the back tire, and lo and behold, it was absolutely flat. The valve had blown the night before. I calmly took my bike off the stand, walked it over to the bike mechanics, and they nice and kindly replaced the valve for me. It only cost me £2.50. It was a quick change. I pumped the tyre back up, I put it back on the bike rack, and it was problem averted, if you will, and race day was still back on. So check your bikes the morning of, check them the night before when you go to hand them in, and make sure all the bike maintenance is done before you get to the venue that you're racing at. And what I tend to say is book your bike in for a bike maintenance either the week or two before. That way you get to kind of ride the bike if you've had any kind of major changes or any kind of major new parts, and you know that your bike is spick and span and in working order. Going back to that kind of streetwise bag, streetwear bag for post-race, I wear my sliders there beforehand, and I put them inside this white bag. Reason being is because after a long day of doing Ironman races, I want to kind of take my trainers off and slide my feet into something more comfortable, which typically are nice kind of squishy sliders. What I also tend to do is in the morning I'll wear a beanie hat and my dry robe. The reason why I wear that is because it could be raining race morning, and it's typically freezing when you're wearing a thin dry suit and half a wetsuit. This keeps me warm, it keeps me well sheltered and protected, and it also allows me to kind of quickly slide it on, quickly throw it off, and then kind of put it into that white bag. I hand it in to the amazing volunteers, and it allows me to pick it back up after race day. And at the end of the race, when I kind of just want to put something cozy on, you do tend to kind of get that kind of after drop where you've been performing at a level all day, your body's kind of undergone a lot of kind of traumatic things, if you will, and you kind of want something a little bit more comfortable that you can throw on. Now, for a ton of other people that don't have dry robes, hoodies are also a good alternative that you can literally just chuck on. You can get from your local charity shop, so if you don't want to keep it, you can kind of kindly just throw it away, and it's kind of neither here or there. However, I recommend not doing that just for sustainability, and obviously it adds on cost for you, but I know it has been done. Also, like kind of plastic ponchos are also a good alternative. However, there's not necessarily as much kind of thermal properties to those products. But this is what I typically kind of do race morning. I hope that helps for you guys. And if you do anything different, or you kind of have any tips or tricks, let me know in the comment section. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it benefits you guys a lot. One thing that I think I forgot to mention was for the chamois cream, it's really good that if you were to get a food bag, a Ziploc bag, and put a little bit of chamois cream in there, because typically a lot of triathletes get nervous, so they'll get to transition. By then they've finished their bottle of fluid, and with a bit of race nerves, everything wants to come out. So if you've left your tube at home, if you put a bit of chamois cream into a food bag and stick it in your pocket, or stick it into a bag that you carry around, then by all means you can then reapply that chamois cream by reversing the bag. Acts like a glove. You just whip it around your body, and then you've reapplied all that chamois, so then you can go into the sea or the lake and do the job that is needed to be done, right? But yeah, if you have any tips or tricks like that that you feel that other people could benefit from, by all means, please share them in the comment section. I want to use these videos to educate you guys and to help new and up and coming athletes into this amazing sport. So thanks again for watching. If you can, please subscribe. It does help and benefit the channel. I'm trying to grow it to make more videos like this. All the products in this video are completely bought by myself. I'm not endorsed by anybody. I just use the products that I think that are best. So yeah, take care, have an amazing day, and like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you soon.